Little Rocket Lab is the latest automation game on the block, and it trades in scale for coziness and charm to have a great automation design for newcomers and for fans looking for a little bit of coziness to go with their automating. In Little Rocket Lab, we play as Morgan, a young engineer who has returned to her hometown after being away for a very long time. She wants to complete the family very crazy project to build their own rocket that was started by her mother and grandmother. But when her mother passed away, the town has definitely lost its spark. And in order to get everyone back on track, rebuild the town, we're gonna have to automate a lot of conveyor belts and build a ton of gears. Little Rocket Lab, at its basic level, is what if we took the coziness and charm of Stardew Valley, but instead of farming our way, we're going to automate and factory our way to greatness. The gameplay here is split into different chapters represented by the various seasons of the year. Each season, you're going to be given a variety of tasks that will oftentimes revolve around you building lots and lots of items. By completing the different tasks, you'll be able to move the story along, as well as unlock additional goods, production lines, and more quality of life parts that will make it easier for you to automate. The progression in this respect is tied to your friends at the university. They will assign you jobs, and by completing the jobs by turning the requested items, you will unlock additional parts. As a bit of bonus fun, the game includes throughput challenges as well as bonus upgrades if you want to pursue them. These will allow your conveyor belts to go faster, get more efficiency out of your coal, and other great stuff that we all know to come to love. As the game goes on, the biggest aspect that makes Little Rocket Lab different from a lot of the other automation games is how the town itself factors into things. This is not a game like Dice and Sphere Factorio where you're just given an entirely blank slate that you can construct anything and everything to your heart's whim. Instead, the objectives and your spacing are going to be limited by the town itself. So a part of the challenge of this game is getting the requested resources and items produced given the limited resources around and the limited space that you have. At the beginning, you're going to probably spread out quite a bit just to make a few basic things. But as the game goes on, you'll also get construction projects that will allow you to build essential structures and other things around the town that, once completed, will provide you with a new resource or new feature. By repairing the dam, you'll be able to just get hydroelectric power instead of having to worry about connecting electrical poles and windmills all around the town. You'll also be able to get goods from the port, which will lead to a new challenge of having to unload and transport said goods. And all this again is tied back to your different upgrades and to the different goals that will move the story along. And much like with Stardew, there is a good mix of exploration, of course meeting the town's great and very lively inhabitants, such as Toasty here, the giant robot toaster, who speaks in bread recipes and can rip and tear anything that's only machine related around the town. And this is what I think really separates Little Rocket Lab from a lot of the other ones that we've played. That, again, it's not about the challenge of scale, where you go from building 50 gears to 100 to 1,000 to 1,000,000 to 1,000,000,000 and so on. Instead, it's going to be about you kind of constantly tearing down your basic buildings, rebuilding for the goods at hand, and of course when you unlock newer and better machinery, getting those constructed to then further optimize. And it definitely presents a different feel. And I would say Little Rocket Lab is a perfect game for someone who is new to automation to really get into. The low stakes and the fact that there is no, monsters breathing down your neck or you're going to run out of oxygen or fuel that's going to doom you is a great way to kind of get you into the mood of automating and using all that logistics training to get things going. With that said, I do have a few issues with the game, and this comes more on the kind of someone who's played so many of these automation titles. You see, because of the limited scale, it means that some of the more useful quality of life and kind of useful buildings or automation options are not quite available at the beginning. Little Rocket Lab is noticeably slower compared to Dyson Sphere. It still feels a little bit faster than Factorio, but Factorio does unlock more quality of life and complexity far quicker than Little Rocket Lab. So a few things like off the top of my head. You're not going to get quick access to logic gates. Being able to set up sorters that will move things from conveyor belts based on, the item at hand. You're going to be dealing with coal power for far longer compared to some of the other games out there. And the kind of coziness or meeting with the villagers does feel a little bit like tacked on in a way. You have a relationship meter with each one of the different people, and you can give them gifts and complete jobs for them. But part of the problem is that when you're busy automating, they don't seem to understand to move out of the way. And I have numerous cases where people got trapped in between my belts, or there's all this path and areas over here, and the person just refuses to go one tile or two tiles down to completely avoid my construction line. And I would have liked to have seen, I think, the integration or more rewards based on befriending or having more conversations with the different people. Once you've met them all one time, you can pretty much just, ignore them entirely and focus on all the conveyor belts and assemblers you're going to be constructing. One other issue of the game is that the GUI and just general UI doesn't feel as easy to control compared to some other games that we've played. Normally you use the mouse wheel to scroll between your different kind of rows of inventory. In this one you have to use the kind of parentheses keys to do that. And it's not as easy to kind of quickly find things in the construction or your blueprints compared to some of the other games. And this one, it's not going to be as possible to kind of save a blueprint or save a section of factory and then copy and paste it somewhere else, unless that comes later in the game or maybe in a patch. But as I said, with Little Rocket Lab, the game does feel legitimately different to the other ones out there. You're not going to have the same level of complexity as Factorio, nor the scale of Dyson Sphere, but you're going to get a very charming and cozy take that feels right up the alley for anyone who's at the entry level or is looking to get into automation, or if you're a long-time automation fan, looking for something a little bit more relaxing to get into, again, without having to worry about bugs or spaceships or things trying to blow you up. So with that, Little Rocket Lab was played with a press key provided by the developer. Let me tell you your game for a future stream and video. Does not have to involve automation, robots, or gears. Then be sure to get in touch. If you did play this one or some of the other automation games, what did you think about them? And with that, thanks for tuning in, and see everyone in our next video. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and you're interested in more in my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.